My name is Tara Third, and I've been in Campbell River since 1980. My family was all from Campbell River. My grandfather was actually the first mayor of Campbell River. So I currently work at the museum at Campbell River as their bookkeeper. So I grew up in a family that was all in the pulp and paper industry, and that's why we moved back to Campbell River. And it was sort of like a known thing that if your dad worked out at the mill, then you could easily get on spare board. But that same connection didn't stand out at the mine when I worked there. There wasn't that many jobs. There was no spare board. So if you got on permanently at the mine, it's because you've taken some sort of education or you're in the right place at the right time. So I was actually taking a legal secretary course at North Island College, and the mine was looking for somebody in their employee relations department. So they contacted sort of the head of the school, which happened to be the wife of our senior geologist. And she took a sort of survey of the candidates that she had and put my name forward for the job. And I met with a girl by the name of Carolyn Brady, who was in employee relations. And because that job is such a tight job and you need to get along with your coworkers, they wanted us to meet for coffee and see how it went. And 3 hours later at a pub, I think we did fairly well. So then I met with Lyle Wiseman, who was the employee relations supervisor at the time. We had dinner, and he made it a point that the working environment out there is definitely different than anywhere else. You are male-dominated. Some of the employees don't have grade 12 education, so they need you to mother them a little bit. And he said that the language was can be quite foul, and how did I feel about that? And I said, I don't care. And he said, you're hired.
My name is Dave Keiver, and I was the Human Resources Manager at the Myra Falls Mine. Started my career mining actually right out of high school. It was kind of an odd place to go. I was 18 years old. Jobs were plentiful in the mining industry. The group that I hired on with was probably 20 some of us. So some would stay, some would go, but the ones who stayed, for the most part, turned out to be lifers in the mining industry.
But for me, working with the guys was awesome. I think it was sort of a different dynamic that I was so young. I was only 20 when I started out there, and a bit naive too, because when I started, I thought that an engineer was an engineer. I didn't realize there were so many different diverse engineers, ventilation engineer, metallurgical engineer, as well as a mine engineer. I just thought that you just had the one degree. So, I mean, there's a lot for me to learn as well. That's the thing, is when you get on that bus is you have to be quiet, because everybody is planning on sleeping. And having that afternoon nap, like it was probably 5 years after I left the mine that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon I wasn't starting to nod off, because I was used to that nap. But yeah, if you had a cough or a cold, you tried to suppress it because you didn't want anybody else thinking that you were the one that's causing everybody to get sick. And the guys liked their sleep. I mean, you could see as the bus goes along the streets of Campbell River to pick everybody up. You have the big burly miner there with his, steel lunch case and his little hand-knit pillow. So I got involved working at the museum just because I was at a luncheon and the lady next to me was saying how she needed somebody who had certain qualifications, And we engaged in conversation. I met her, and her name is Rochelle Burt, and she had her own accounting company, and she was doing the accounting here at the museum. And so we basically came to the museum, had a look around. The Festival of Trees were going on. Rochelle decided that this would be the perfect fit for me. So it's a part-time job, and it's great, fit my family, everything that I needed at the time. And you know, going forward, my sort of key thing when I was here at the museum was that there was nothing on mining. And so for almost 10 years now, I've been trying to get the museum to engage in some type of exhibit on mining. And it was very important for me to sort of celebrate the people that were part of the mining community, both past and present. And when we talked about doing something, I kept saying to the museum staff that literally my contacts were dying. Like, people who I thought would be very important to interview were literally gone. And so it was a timely thing that this had to get going. It all started with a bentwood box that I had donated.
Well, when I first came to Campbell River in 2000, a lot of my friends, they said, "Oh, you're going to Campbell River, you got to get a boat, you got to go fishing." Because all they knew about Campbell River was that it was a good place for fishing. Salmon capital of the world. I think we're one of seven salmon capitals of the world, but that was part of the reputation of the place. But I came here for the job. I didn't come here because I knew anything about Campbell River.
I really hope that the Campbell River community, when they think of industry, they just don't think of fishing and the mill and forestry. That there's been a huge component that is not celebrated here at the museum, and I'm hoping that they see past the guys with their steel lunch kit and their crocheted pillows standing on the bus stop.